This presentation of 4 Deep Sports Talk is brought to you by Ptu Clinic. Find out about Bridgewater and Buzzards Bay's newest physical therapy clinic and what they have to offer at ptuclinic.com. Adria Restaurant and Banquet Facility located at 436 Oak Street in East Bridgewater. Visit adriarestaurant.net. And by Diesel Direct, your reliable source for fuel delivery. Head over to dieseldirect.com for more.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA. We are here with the Ptu Clinic physical therapists in studio. We have Eddie Yerden and Kiki Levesque here in studio with us. I want to dive into our questions.
I just want to start
Or-
saying PTU. Is it PTU University or?
Just physical therapy U. Just the letter U
Okay.
is in.
All right.
U.
And my wife want me to give her an apology for driving to Rhode Island to take my son for therapy and with basketball today. And there was no basketball. So I'm going to say I apologize to my wife. I love you. I apologize. Had to get that out of the way before I sleep on the couch for 3 months. Yes. So, I mean, go ahead with the questions. Yeah, I'm going to have some, I'm sure.
All right. What do you think is the hardest part of physical therapy?
Oh, starting out with a tough one. Not knowing what the patient's going to show up with that day. Everything could be going as planned, and they come in, they're a little flared up, they're in more pain. You had a plan going into that day, and you got to change the whole thing and kind of just relax everything out. You might have to switch everything. We're doing a little more massage, manual therapy versus exercises, and that's probably the toughest thing on my end.
I think the toughest thing is probably when there's setbacks, kind of like Eddie said, but also when people aren't progressing the way that you think they should be. Sometimes it's hard not to take that on yourself and understand there's other factors going on. And we obviously want everyone to get better. So when you're not seeing that progress, it's not only frustrating for the patient, but it's also takes a toll on us. Sometimes I go home at night and I'm still thinking about that.
So, Antron people speaking here. I've been an athlete all my life. So, in high school, I didn't really realize how important physical therapy was. Even after, even if you're not hurt, could you tell us how important it is, to take care of the body before it gets hurt, and then actually when you do have an injury? I've been in therapy now probably for 2 months, and doesn't seem like anything's getting better. Of course, I'm an old hag now, and I don't bounce back like I used to, but that's a two-part question. So before and after the injury, how important is it before?
I think before is huge because, a lot of the injuries we see, especially, once you get into the high school and college and beyond years, it's a lot of overuse.
Right.
You're putting a lot of stress on your body no matter what sport you're playing. It's the shoulder, it's the knee, it's the back. It's
Absolutely.
Getting a lot of pressure. And if you're not taking care of your body, something's going to give eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I noticed I had some nicks and knacks here and there, but I would never take care of them like I needed to. I wouldn't ice them to get that blood flow back, or get the swelling out of it, your knees or something. And I didn't know how important it was to sit in that ice bath when the coach told us get the ice bath after practice. And then years later, now those injuries are coming back like that. So is it pertinent to take care of your body no matter if it's hurting or not, or if it's not injured? So it's pertinent for your body to get that replenished?
Yeah, I think and that goes for anybody, not just athletes, to kind of take care of your body. As you get older, the more you do, the more active you are. You're going to see these little aches and pains come up, and if you just kind of put them off, those build up over time, and eventually that will lead to the pain, and that's when we end up seeing people.
Right.
It's a little less, we see people more once they get the pain, they know something's wrong.
Right.
And one of the things that we do in our clinic is we try to make sure they don't come back for that same problem.
Absolutely.
So we give them all the tools and exercises necessary to prevent them from coming back for that same exact injury, for that reason you're saying, to kind of prevent.
Right. Yeah. Prevention, like an oil change. Keep getting that thing.
That's it. Just tune-ups here and there.
Tune-ups, absolutely.
All right. My next question is, who inspired you to be a trainer?
I'll take this one first. So, I was like an athlete growing up all through high school and college, but in high school I really started strength and conditioning. And my mentor was definitely Ross Dracula. He kind of just provided a space for me to go in and work hard every day. And with that, I kind of saw the change in how I was playing as well. And he just created such a fun environment for like all us kids to go to, and it kept us out of trouble as well. So I think being in that environment, I kind of fell in love with it. And then from there, I ended up falling in love with physical therapy too, because I got to learn a little bit more, and I could help people when they got hurt too, not just to improve their performance as well.
Cool.
Similar answer for me. You know, I was big into sports growing up. And then in college with my undergrad degree in exercise science, I got to meet a couple really great professors. One of them being Devin McConnell, who's currently with the NHL. And then I ended up doing an internship at Mike Boyle Strength and Conditioning up on the North Shore. And that kind of introduced me to that strength and conditioning world and kind of opened my eyes to that side of the health. And then physical therapy was kind of my goal ever since high school. So now I'm able to kind of work on both, and I have that mindset of, you know, what to do at, you know, pre-injury, during the injury phase, and afterwards for that strengthening and to keep everything going.
Right. So you were an athlete, and that's what kind of brought you over. Both of you all were athletes. What sports, if you don't mind me asking?
I played ice hockey.
Ice hockey. Oh, ice hockey. And see, everybody,
Similar. I played ice hockey, football, baseball.
Baseball, absolutely. And I realized that, you know, being an athlete also, I feel like I'm a physical therapist. I feel like I know what to do when I am hurt or when I'm not feeling, my body's not feeling good. I can't stretch the way I used to by myself. So I always need somebody else. I'm calling on my son, and he's not a good physical therapist. So now I'm going to a physical therapy place in Middleborough, and they found out that it was another injury. Do you have a lot of athletes that come in there maybe thinking it might be the hip, but it's really their back, or see, they looking at each other like, yeah.
All the time.
All the time, yeah. So do you have to change that plan in the middle? Get the doctors, get the approval to switch up? We need them for another 6 weeks or so. You run into any problems in that?
We normally, at the eval, try to kind of tease that out at the start. Mm-hmm. But I always tell my patients, like, this is the initial evaluation. This is my initial thought. Mm-hmm. I have this other thought in the back of my head. We're going to start with this plan of care, these exercises. If you don't respond the way I'd expect you to, we might pivot, and we might think something else might be going on, and we'll address that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm jumping deep. I'm sorry, I'm taking your questions and jumping deep because I'm going through some stuff right now. That's why I'm asking a lot of these questions, because that's what I'm going through a lot as we speak. Just those type of things. But questions.
What is your favorite part about being a trainer?
Making people better and educating them, making them better off going forward. They love it. The environment at PTU is extremely infectious. So if you ever meet anyone that has been a patient there, I'm sure they'll tell you. We're able to change the way a lot of people think about exercise and taking care of their body, which is the greatest thing, to have that change and put people in a better place when they leave us is satisfying.
I think a big thing for me is seeing their confidence improve. So someone that's like scared to pick something up off the floor, and then by the end they're deadlifting, it's so exciting to see, and they just like feel like they can do anything after that.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask, like, do you have any advice for your patients? Like, do you tell them to like do some stretching, like that way they don't like have any other injuries?
Yeah, definitely. Stretching's a huge part of it. Before you work out or exercise, after. For a lot of my patients, I'll end up telling, because it's time consuming, stretching. It can be a little difficult for some people to get into that routine. So I just tell them to pick a few exercises, a few stretches, and do it as soon as you wake up in the morning for 5 minutes. Do it right before you go to bed for 5 minutes, and usually they end up start doing that, and they all of a sudden get into that routine of stretching, and they make it more of a habit. Time's a big constraint in physical therapy and exercise, and we give people their exercises to do at home, and they're like, I just don't have time. I got kids. I got to bring them to school, bring them to sports, taking care of my parents. So time's a big thing that, kind of going back to one of those first questions of the limitations, and we kind of have to work around it and see what works better with their schedule to get them on that same page and realize the benefits of stretching and taking care of the body.
I think going off that too, it's like a team approach. It's not like just us telling someone to do something. It's, okay, what does your schedule look like? What's going to work for you? What's not going to work for you? And what can we prioritize in order to make it all mesh with your life? Because everyone's busy.
Yeah, because I asked that because I sometimes forget to stretch, like when I'm getting ready to like work out and other stuff.
Yeah, it's common, and it's
Yeah.
time consuming. You might be restricted, and you can only work out for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And to spend another 15, 20 minutes stretching before, it can be hard to fit in. And it is important, and that's something that we try to stress to our patients, and it'll usually get there.
Are we gonna cut the break, or we? Do I got
Yeah, we can go take our first break. So please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We'll be right back with more right after these messages.
To Physical Therapy U. I'm Kelly Duggan, Doctor of Physical Therapy and the owner of PTU Clinic. Here at PTU, you're more than a patient and we're more than physical therapy. We offer massage, physical therapy, occupational therapy, personal training, and sport-specific performance training. We treat people and athletes of all ages and all levels of experience. Our beautiful 4,500 square foot facility located at 75 Scotland Boulevard in Bridgewater, Mass. is unlike any clinic you've seen. Our large space, along with our new COVID guidelines, allow us to treat you in the safest way. Your success in meeting your goals is our top priority. Whether you're recovering from a surgery or you're elevating your performance, we are the right clinic for you. Call us at 508-697-2000 or email us at ptuclinic@gmail.com. Check out our website at www.ptuclinic.com.
Popular destination, Adria Boost, a breathtaking panoramic view of nature in all of its glory in each and every season. Upon visiting their 200-seat restaurant, you will see 3 distinctive areas. The lounge area includes their spacious 26-seat dining bar, high-top tables and dining tables, all viewing access to 7 high-definition televisions and 3 Kino monitors. A second area set apart from the lounge offers booths and tables to accommodate every member of the family. The third area, a few steps down and separated from the main restaurant by windows, is known as the Fairway Room. It is surrounded not just by a fabulous view, but a feeling of serenity and tranquility. It is a favorite spot for lunch, dinner, and functions. It is perfect for romantic dinner, casual family gathering, business meeting, or any large group for that.
My junior year of college, I decided I wanted to be a truck driver.
So my uncle, he works here for like 40 plus years, and he said, choose Diesel Direct, don't go nowhere else.
Lo que me inspiró a mí fue mi hijastro, cuando él se graduó con su CDE.
I was telling my stepdad and my brother, hey, you know, this is probably one of the best jobs I've ever had. And I was showing them the type of income that I was making. The equipment that we have at Diesel Direct is the best.
I aim to go in the big unit, the tractor trailer, so I'm trying to work myself up.
I never really had a career before this, but I just want to do my job well and be accepted. And I feel like a lot of people, that's all they want, right? And you definitely get that here.
Welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Show. Caleb here. As a baseball player, I have a question. What are the most common baseball injuries that you guys see?
Very good question. It's, shoulder and elbow are going to be the 2 joints that we see the most there. And it's anywhere from, if you look at the shoulder, it could be a rotator cuff tear, impingement syndrome where you get pain moving your arm through a certain range of motion. Could be labral tears, and then when you get down to the elbow, everyone's heard of UCL tears and Tommy John surgery. For any other overhead sport, tennis, golf, things like that, you're going to see tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, which is just tendonitis at a certain part of the elbow. So those aches and pains are probably the most common with those overhead sports that you see.
Thank you.
What's a golfer's elbow? Is that like a common name for like a golfer?
Yeah, so golfer's elbow and tennis elbow, it's inflammation of the tendons either on the outside of the elbow or the inside of the elbow.
Oh.
And it's just a tendonitis, which is inflammation, so it's achy, it's painful when you move the wrist a certain way. So it's it can be tender, painful, and it'll stop you from golfing and playing tennis. It'll be painful when you hit that ball.
So I wanted to touch upon. So I read an article about a few weeks back, and it was mentioning about like tech neck and all that. I wanted to get your guys' opinion about the concerns going forward, because everyone's just constantly on their laptop or their phone or looking down. So how much does that have to play into having neck pain and going forward?
I always say that the human body was meant to move. So anytime you're in a static position, whether you're standing all day or you're sitting all day, things aren't going to feel that great because our body craves movement and craves variability. So it's hard to just pinpoint one thing, but a lot of times it's just being still and staying in the same position is going to cause some chain effects. So even if you are at a computer all day, get up and move around. Set a timer, because some people get so heavy into their work that they don't stop. And so if you have a timer that goes off, it'll be a good reminder to get up and move around.
There's little postural adjustments you can make too, kind of while sitting, just to help remind you to, sit up a little better, not be hunched over, neck kind of leaning forward. So those are all, little things that you can do to, make that feel a little better. But it's super common. We see it a lot in, our athletes, as well as, a lot of adults that, have those jobs that they sit in front of a computer at a desk. Super common.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, you guys mentioned that you played ice hockey, so what were the common injuries that you guys would see?
So for hockey, you see a lot of groin pulls. You'll get some hip impingement. You can also have a labral tear, so a lot of hip pain, basically. And then you also sometimes get some shoulder separations too, just from going into the boards and landing kind of on your shoulder. So you see a little bit of everything.
Yeah, the hips definitely a big one, and it's just because of the motion of skating. It's very different than any other sport. It's kind of that lateral but diagonal. And you'll see a lot more of that hip pain with any athlete that has to move more laterally. So, in football, it's a lot of football linemen. It's a lot of lateral movements and quick. So you'll see that in hockey. But the hips definitely the biggest joint that's affected.
So there are certain exercises for that. For instance, aside from sports, I'm a videographer. And so I constantly get, shoulder pain. And so what kind of exercises or therapy would you use for that, aside from me being with Ben Gay all the time?
It's going to be specific for each person, so it's hard for us to recommend anything.
Yep.
But go see a physical therapist is probably what I'd say.
I think kind of in general, when you come in for that initial evaluation, we're going to check strength of certain muscles, range of motion, and then we kind of pick exercises based on what you're limited in. So if things are really tight, we recognize those muscles, and the exercises are based on improving that flexibility or stability. If we know the shoulder's a little unstable and weak, and that's why you're getting that pain, exercises will be a little more focused towards whatever we find in the evaluation with the shoulder.
Gotcha.
Do you tend to have patients that usually prefer cupping over dry needling, or is it kind of just some kind? Because I know before I went to physical therapy, and some clinics prefer to just stay in the route of cupping opposed to dry needling, and they'll refer me to going to my specialist doctor and trying to get it with under not the MRI, the ultrasound and the X-ray to kind of look with the joints and everything like that. Do you guys find it helpful when they want to do that thing?
I think it depends on the therapist's knowledge on those certain types of treatment, but as well as how the patient's presenting. They'll see certain things that might indicate more. I think dry needling might be a little better for you, or just a massage session, deep tissue massage, or the cupping, laser therapy. So there's a bunch of different things that you could get out there, and it's, how educated is a therapist on that. The research is always changing, so it's more what they're confident with, but as well as how the patient is presenting to us, what we think would be best.
Oh, so I actually have another question. Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I have to ask them. So my mom's going in for hip surgery next week, so I just wanted to ask, what would you recommend to anyone that actually is recovering from a surgery, like a hip surgery? Would there be any restrictions on that?
I would advocate them to talk a lot with their surgeon. A lot of times people go in for surgery and they don't really even know what's going on and what they can and can't do and what the recovery timeline's going to be. And they come out of surgery and they're like, I didn't know this was going to take 6 months and I didn't plan accordingly for this. And it's a big thing is advocate for yourself, ask questions, be specific with your questions, because at the end of the day, it's your body and you should advocate for yourself.
Yeah, you have the right to know
Yeah.
what is going to happen following the surgery. So definitely talk to the surgeon.
Okay.
I also have a question. Describe an average day as a trainer.
Really good question.
Thank you.
So, at our clinic specifically, we're seeing one patient at a time on the 40-minute block. Every 40 minutes, we're getting a new patient in and out. So we get to see a lot of different people throughout the day. It can be anywhere from, 10 to 12, depending on how long you work that shift. It's cool, and you'll see everything. You'll go from a low back pain patient to a hip patient to a shoulder patient, back to a low back, and it's cool because it changes up the day. It makes everything go by kind of fast because you're meeting a new person, you're having a different conversation, and you're treating a different injury. And everyone's different. Even if you have 2 low back pain or hip patients, they injured it a totally different way. They have 2 different lifestyles. So it's very different every patient you see, and it's kind of a little of what we deal with on a day-to-day.
Do you tend to get a lot of kids or adults, or does it matter?
We see everything.
Yeah.
We've had kids, as young as 7 or 8, coming into our clinic with some pain, some instability, things like that. But we also see, patients up into their 80s. I think we had someone in their 90s at one point.
Wow.
So yeah, we see everything on the spectrum. We're seeing general population for your, typical low back pains, total knees, and then we're seeing all the sports injuries as well, the ACL surgeries, the shoulder surgeries, and so it's pretty cool. It's such a diverse day that we get to see in different conversations, and you kind of turn on, you treat an adult obviously a little different than you treat, a 10-year-old kid. But again, it's that difference in patients, and it makes the day go by really fast because you see and you get to meet so many different people each day.
Right. Can I ask you a question? I know, like I said, before the injury happens, and that's my thing. We talk about high school sports here and athletes just trying to get to that next level or trying to get an opportunity to go get school paid for, or just because of their athletic ability. And it's so, if you hurt, nobody wants you. If you're not hurt and you're a great athlete, everybody wants you. So those injuries, definitely your body needs is your ticket, the big ticket. So before those injuries, do you get athletes that come in there weekly that you all are professional trainers? I know they do have trainers in high school to help them, and they probably have one physical therapist or trainer there. The difference between that, the trainer in high school and you guys, I don't want to see you when I'm hurt. You know what I mean? I want to see you before I'm hurt. Do you all take care of athletes before they're injured also? So it's pertinent for those guys to come in there and see you guys before that too, right?
Yeah, so we offer recovery sessions as well. So even if you're not necessarily have a specific injury, you can come in and see us. And a lot of times when we're doing those recovery sessions too, we'll ask about kind of what's going on. And if something jumps out at us that we're like, oh, that's not expected,
Mhm.
we might be like, maybe you should come see us for physical therapy too. And we recently just did some preseason testing with the Brockton Rocks too,
Right.
to get some baseline numbers as well, so that we can kind of see, is there anything of concern here that we need to kind of make sure their athletic trainer is like monitoring throughout the season. So yeah, I guess
Absolutely.
we do touch on that as
That's
well.
good. I just want these athletes to know that you have to take care of your body. You have to, because if you're trying to go to that next level and you're not taking care of your body, it's not going to happen, because you can't play to the highest level. Like you said, the Brockton Rocks, they come over there and they get their baseline of what their bodies. Are we good? I just want athletes to know you have to. High school athletes, we cover half the high school athletes. Take care of your body and stretch, do those things. We used to stretch 45 minutes before practice. I don't stretch no time now. I go and work out, and I think the workout is the stretch. That's not it. So I know you all train over there also. You have an athletic training team that does like agilities and stuff for kids.
Yeah, we have strength coaches as well on staff
yeah.
that we kind of work on that. We have a bunch of different classes that we offer,
Right.
middle school, high school, 55 and
Absolutely.
over. So just trying to touch as many people as we can and keep them feeling better.
That's amazing. And so that's athletes go to PTU. I know that you all got one in Bridgewater and in Buzzards Bay, right?
Yep.
So are you all a new program? How long have you all been in existence?
7 years.
7 years.
So it's
in
partly new.
Bridgewater.
Yeah.
It's fairly new. So high school athletes go to PTU, train athletic, and then you have the
To Physical Therapy U. I'm Kelly Duggan, Doctor of Physical Therapy and the owner of PTU Clinic. Here at PTU, you're more than a patient and we're more than physical therapy. We offer massage, physical therapy, occupational therapy, personal training, and sport-specific performance training. We treat people and athletes of all ages and all levels of experience. Our beautiful 4,500 square foot facility located at 75 Scotland Boulevard in Bridgewater, Mass. is unlike any clinic you've seen. Our large space, along with our new COVID guidelines, allow us to treat you in the safest way. Your success in meeting your goals is our top priority. Whether you're recovering from a surgery or you're elevating your performance, we are the right clinic for you. Call us at 508-697-2000 or email us at ptuclinic@gmail.com. Check out our website at www.ptuclinic.com.
Popular destination, Adria Boost, a breathtaking panoramic view of nature in all of its glory in each and every season. Upon visiting their 200-seat restaurant, you will see 3 distinctive areas. The lounge area includes their spacious 26-seat dining bar, high-top tables and dining tables, all viewing access to 7 high-definition televisions and 3 Kino monitors. A second area, set apart from the lounge, offers booths and tables to accommodate every member of the family. The third area, a few steps down and separated from the main restaurant by windows, is known as the Fairway Room. It is surrounded not just by a fabulous view, but a feeling of serenity and tranquility. It is a favorite spot for lunch, dinner, and functions. It is perfect for romantic dinner, casual family gathering, business meeting, or any large group for that.
My junior year of college, I decided I wanted to be a truck driver.
So my uncle, he works here for like 40 plus years, and he said, choose Diesel Direct, don't go nowhere else.
Lo que me inspiró a mí fue mi hijastro cuando él se graduó con su CDF.
I was telling my stepdad and my brother, hey, this is probably one of the best jobs I've ever had. And I was showing them the type of income that I was making. The equipment that we have at Diesel Direct is the best.
I aim to go in the big unit, the tractor trailer, so I'm trying to work myself up.
I never really had a career before this, but I just want to do my job well and be accepted. And I feel like a lot of people, that's all they want, right? And you definitely get that here.
So as we was talking about the questions, the athletes not coming when they're not hurt, it's important, as you all were saying, it's important to come when you're not hurt and definitely take care of that body. How important is that?
Yeah, it's super important. The more you take care of your body, the better longevity you're going to have through your sport. So we got locations in Bridgewater, Buzzards Bay, and Middleborough coming soon. So we're in the area. Come see us. We have different options that you can better take care of your body, from recovery sessions, strength classes, physical therapy, occupational therapy. So come out, give us a call, follow us.
I'm coming. Trust me. I'll be there. I definitely need to work. So I'm in one in professional therapy. I think that's where I go now in Middleborough. But I would love to be a part of what you all are doing, because so much things that you all have going on as far as training also. I think that's pertinent. I wanted to actually do the same thing, open up a company that would train therapy. And also I think what would be good to add on to that is, I see you have PTU is scholastic, have the scholars end of it. I mean, you got a lot of kids that come in to do training, and when they're waiting on that therapy session, they could be doing academics, or that's just my thought process. But I love it. Sorry.
Yeah, I actually wanted to comment. Like I said not too long ago, like my mom's going in for hip surgery, so I'm gonna try to convince her to choose this physical therapy U section.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
So with the most common injuries that people have, is there a way to avoid them, or is it just impossible? Like, is it just inevitable?
I think it depends on the type of injury. I think the overuse injuries that we see can be a little bit more prevented than some of the acute stuff. When you're in sports, it's high paced, it's fast, it's hard hitting, a lot of contact in some of them. So a lot of the injuries you're not going to avoid, but you can definitely strength train ahead of time, and doing injury prevention and taking care of your body will definitely help limit how likely it is that you will get injured. So long story short, sometimes it can be a little more prevented, but those acute injuries, I mean, there's only so much you can do when you get tackled from the waist down and it buckles the knee, and you get hurt. So only so much.
I think some of that too, like the overuse, has to do with some early specialization in sport that we see in youth athletes now. They have so much pressure on them to join all these teams and be practicing and playing multiple games a weekend that they don't give their bodies enough time to rest. And kind of like you touched on earlier, it's longevity, right? So even if you have an athlete that's in 5th grade and is like phenomenal, if they're practicing and playing so much that they can't keep up with that, or they get burnt out, that's not going to go very far. So I think it's important to think long term as well in those situations.
Right. So a lot of times my wife says, we're the same age. How is your body like that? I'm like, what do you mean like that? Like, my body's like 70 years old right now, in a 40-year-old age. You know what I mean? And I'm like, the football, the baseball, the basketball, all those years of not really just taking care of my body the way I needed to, it eventually catches up with you. So you have to take care of your body, man. You have to. I'm a living witness, and I'm here to tell you guys, definitely need physical therapy and to do the things that they tell you to do, and follow along with it. Be consistent. You have to, because I'm not consistent with it, and that's why when you're not consistent with that, you're in the therapy office a lot more times than not. So.
Yeah. It's definitely a lifelong process.
Yeah.
It's not just you're in PT for 6 weeks, or you do your 12-week strength program, and then you kind of call it. It's a lifelong thing, and you gotta keep moving. You gotta keep staying active. Got to keep stretching, doing exercises. And
what about, do y'all deal with like concussion things also? Like, is that part of you all's area also? If kids come in with concussions and constant.
It's part of our curriculum when we're in PT school.
Yeah.
And we have one PT that does a lot of like vestibular stuff, so it's more, which is common after concussion, where you have like dizziness, eyes feel like they're jumping. So we do touch on that. We don't have anyone that's specifically like specialized in concussion.
Okay.
But say someone came to us, we could treat it, and if we didn't feel like we were able to give them the best care, we would refer them to someone that was a specialist in that area.
What do y'all think about that? What is your opinion on the concussion? I mean, I don't know if you have one. I know I probably had millions of them, but it used to be where you have one and they just send you right back out, and now it's like it's very dangerous. I'm assuming they're taking it very seriously now.
Yeah, there's a big risk if you're not monitoring your concussion. You just go right back out and play. It's called second concussion syndrome, where you can you can die from it. So it is a big concern. I always tell people the brain's not something that you mess with.
Right.
So if you have any symptoms, sit out
Right.
and take it very seriously. It's not worth the risk.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
How important is a healthy diet for like recovery?
That's huge. It's not something that a lot of people don't take that as serious. And a lot of athletes, whether it's in their school or after school, they have limited time. So getting the right amount of food in their body that they need to recover is hard to do. And there's specialists out there that'll definitely help make sure you get the amount of calories and good calories that you need to better recover. But it's a huge part of it. If you're not fueling your body with good fuel, you're not going to have as good of an output. It's just like putting gas in the car.
Right.
If you're putting the bad stuff in, you're not taking care of it, that car's gonna junk out. If you're not putting the good oil in, yeah.
Absolutely. I notice now in colleges, at the University of Tennessee, they have readers in their shoulder pads. So when they go to practice, it tells you where your intake is. And then when you come out of practice, they have a reader. They take those out. And by the time that you get in the shower, come out, get your ice bag, whatever, that reader will tell you what you need to put back in your body. And that's what these are schools with all the money. They have the bag ready for you right there when you walk out of the locker room to put that right back in your body, to fuel right back up. It's amazing, man. You said that, you know what goes out, you know what need to go back in.
Right.
So they're really taking care of these athletes now, and you have no other opportunity but to be great and win and do what you need to do to be successful, man. So that's very big. And I know they're not doing it in high school. So this is probably tough to do that. There's a lot of money but putting the right things. That was a great question, man.
Yeah.
Putting those things back in your body. Appreciate that.
Any more questions?
I actually have another question. Who is your favorite player in any sport, and why?
Being a big hockey fan, I'll definitely go towards the Bruins, and I've always loved David Pastrnak. Love the nickname Pasta. He's a great player, and I'm Italian, so I love my pasta. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. The pasta. That probably with the good Italian voice, right? So.
I'd probably say Bergeron because it's hockey
Bergeron?
as well. Yeah.
Okay. Bergeron. So I'm gonna jump in. When you got into this field, what was your end goal? What was were you planning on? Would you like to do a professional team? I mean, you're athletes. Would you like to be on a professional team as a PT guy, or college, or did you want to be in your community, working with kids in your community? What was the level that you wanted to say? What was the end goal?
I think I've always wanted to work with kids. I think it makes it really fun, and a lot of times, especially when they're like high school age, it's a huge transition point in their life, and high school sports often means like so much to these kids that it's really fun to get involved with them at that time and like get them back to their sport.
Right.
And honestly, I was looking for a place to work that is like PTU, that's more fitness forward, where we have a lot of equipment that we can use. We work with a lot of athletes, but then we also get a change of pace and we get to work with people that might not be athletes, but we can get them stronger and get them back to doing the things that they love.
Right.
And it's a super open environment, so we get to kind of joke around with all of our coworkers too. Like Eddie's always teasing me during the day, so it makes it fun.
Yeah, same for me. I think working with the kids is the more important thing that I wanted to do. I think there's a lot more room to have a positive influence on them. I mean, not that you wouldn't with a college or professional player, but they usually have those tools and resources for them. The high school and middle school kids don't usually have as many of those resources, and to be an influence for them and get them on the right page to set them up better for the future, as opposed to they're already in their future goals.
Right.
I think it's a little more special to me to have more room to grow with them.
Do you think high school students, like middle school students, don't take you very seriously? Like I didn't take my trainer seriously, and I knew he was a PT guy when I was in high school. You know, and do you think they take you seriously? Like,
yeah, I think I mean, it's not going to be every kid. You're not going to get all of them on the train. But I don't know, there's something special about the environment and culture that we have at PTU. I think we do get to a lot of the kids, and it changes their perception on how to treat their body, how to eat. And we try to, incorporate as much, into these sessions as we can.
Right.
They're cool. We're friends with them. We act like it, when we're in the clinic, and that really buys them in and listens to us. So it's really cool. And a lot of times, unfortunately, the parents get a bad rap, and a lot of the kids won't listen to the parents, but they end up listening to us.
Right.
So it's really cool to see. It's something that we don't take lightly. We know the impact that we can have on these kids, and we try to make it as positive as we can.
Absolutely. Is it because you think because you have that brand behind you though? That brand, that PTU, when we come in to get you right, I love it. I mean, as far as do y'all get like contract? Do y'all go to high schools and work with high schools?
Not specifically.
No.
I mean, we have contacts in the area that we'll reach out to, and we get a lot of referrals from coaches and trainers and parents that they know. Go to PTU. Like, that's the place. Oh, your kid just got hurt on the field. Like, PTU. Make sure. And they're like, giving our information to people that don't know. And word of mouth is our biggest advertisement. We're in some newspapers, we're online, things like that. But the amount of people that come in, and if I had to make a bet as to who referred them, how'd they hear to come to PTU, it's going to be by someone else.
Right.
All right, so we actually have to take our last break. So you're listening to 40 Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA. In Attleboro, we have a privilege of highlighting PTU therapists Eddie Yearden and Kiki Levesque. We will be right back with more with them right after these messages.
To Physical Therapy U. I'm Kelly Duggan, Doctor of Physical Therapy and the owner of PTU Clinic. Here at PTU, you're more than a patient and we're more than physical therapy. We offer massage, physical therapy, occupational therapy, personal training, and sport-specific performance training. We treat people and athletes of all ages and all levels of experience. Our beautiful 4,500 square foot facility located at 75 Scotland Boulevard in Bridgewater, Mass. is unlike any clinic you've seen. Our large space, along with our new COVID guidelines, allow us to treat you in the safest way. Your success in meeting your goals is our top priority. Whether you're recovering from a surgery or you're elevating your performance, we are the right clinic for you. Call us at 508-697-2000 or email us at ptuclinic@gmail.com. Check out our website at www.ptuclinic.com.
Popular destination, Adria Boost, a breathtaking panoramic view of nature in all of its glory in each and every season. Upon visiting their 200-seat restaurant, you will see 3 distinctive areas. The lounge area includes their spacious 26-seat dining bar, high-top tables and dining tables, all viewing access to 7 high-definition televisions and 3 Kino monitors. A second area, set apart from the lounge, offers booths and tables to accommodate every member of the family. The third area, a few steps down and separated from the main restaurant by windows, is known as the Fairway Room. It is surrounded not just by a fabulous view, but a feeling of serenity and tranquility. It is a favorite spot for lunch, dinner, and functions. It is perfect for romantic dinner, casual family gathering, business meeting, or any large group for that.
My junior year of college, I decided I wanted to be a truck driver.
So my uncle, he works here for like 40 plus years, and he said, choose Diesel Direct, don't go nowhere else.
Lo que me inspiró a mí fue mi hijastro, cuando él se graduó con su CDE.
I was telling my stepdad and my brother, hey, this is probably one of the best jobs I've ever had. And I was showing them the type of income that I was making. The equipment that we have at Diesel Direct is the best.
I aim to go in the big unit, the tractor trailer, so I'm trying to work myself up.
I never really had a career before this, but I just want to do my job well and be accepted. And I feel like a lot of people, that's all they want, right? And you definitely get that here.
To 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM Attleboro. I'm Justin Ferrer, the Sports Master, and I'm about to go over some softball information. So on for Division 5, Grimfield beat Turner Fall 10-2, and they are the state champions. And for Division 5, now for the upcoming games for tomorrow for Sunday. For Division 1 at noon, Central Catholic versus Taunton, and for Division 2 at 2:30, Tewksbury Memorial versus Burlington, and Division 3 at 5 p.m. Norton versus Middleborough. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kaylin to give you baseball information.
Okay, starting off now inside D3, Oakmont Regional beat Medfield 5-3, making them the state champions. In D2, Milton beat King Philip Regional 6-2. At noon today, Bourne and Hopkins Academy play for the D5 state title. At 3 p.m., Seekonk and Abington play for the D4 state final. And then tonight at 6 p.m., Franklin and Taunton face off to decide the D1 state champions. I also have a question. For an aspiring PT, is college the best option to start off, or a different path?
So as far as physical therapy, it's a doctorate program now. So you could start off in undergrad and take your prereq courses. So an undergrad degree in exercise science, say. And then you could then apply to PT school, which is an additional 3 years of schooling. Or there's some programs now that are switching to combined program where it's 6 years. So you would go in as an undergrad, do that in 3 years, and then transition right into their doctorate of physical therapy program.
Cool.
It's a lot of schooling.
Yes.
So how many years of school in total would that count towards for physical therapy?
I went to school for 7 years.
For physical therapy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She said, for physical therapy.
Oh, because I was just curious.
Yeah, it's a lot of schooling. It is a lot of schooling. What if somebody wanted to get into physical therapy? What would be the steps? What schools? Some good schools. One of my friends, I know the therapist that I have, he actually went to University of Tennessee, a school in Pellissippi, Knoxville, Tennessee. What's some good schools in this area if you want to get started?
Where did you go?
And yeah, that was coming. That was it. And where did you go? That was it. You read my mind over there, huh?
For undergrad, I went to the University of Rhode Island, and then
roadie.
Yep.
You got a roadie alumni over here.
There we go.
And then
Rhode Island also.
Oh my God.
And then for PT school, I went out to Colorado for Regis University.
Oh, that's nice.
But there's a ton of program options. I'd say the best place to start though is finding a clinic and shadowing. Make sure you really love the profession and that's what you want to do before you invest all that time and money
7
into
years.
it. Yeah, because it's a big investment. So get exposure, talk to other PTs. We're always open to have conversations. So if you are interested, contact us and we'll talk, and we can always get you into shadow for a little bit, see if it is something that you're really interested in.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely take education, seriously in our clinic. So, we do take a lot of students, high school and college, so people can get a feel for what the PT field's going to be like. Right. It's a long road, and you got to make sure it's something that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. The body's an amazing thing, man. It is. What school did you go to?
So I did my undergrad at UMass Lowell.
Okay.
Did that for 4 years, and then I actually went to physical therapy assistant school, which instead of a doctorate degree, it's an associate's degree. So I went to North Shore Community College for that.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All going to that goal that you were trying to get to,
right?
Where you are now.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's different routes you can go to get that. So you went to a 2-year associate school?
Yeah. So I have my right. Yep, it's not the route that most people usually take, but got my bachelor's first, and then I wanted to do a little more of the strength and conditioning at first as opposed to the physical therapy. So instead of committing to that longer program at a university, I ended up going with the associate's degree. So I'm still able to do a lot of the physical therapy aspects of it. The big difference between a doctorate and an associate's physical therapy assistant is those original evals and the re-evals are the biggest things that we don't do, but the DPTs can do. Right. So there's definitely some differences between the careers, based on what you learn and the degree type. But there's definitely some different options out there.
I mean,
for sure.
you've been in the game so long. Do you feel like you could do those evals? You know what that comes with it.
Yes and no. I mean, you learn a lot more in depth in DPT school about what exactly to look for. Do I have a good amount of knowledge of it? Yes, but it's you got to know what your strong suit is and what you were trained for in school. So it's cool to be a part of the treatment plan, but you definitely need that doctorate to do those evals. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Who is your youngest patient?
I think the youngest one we've had was 7.
Really?
Yep.
How about oldest?
94.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Big spectrum.
That's me, 94, that's me. 40-year-old body. Yeah.
Anyone else? Questions?
Has any famous athletes ever shown up?
If they did, we wouldn't be able to say for HIPAA reasons, privacy. We wouldn't be able to say anything specific. But we've gotten everything from middle school to the professional level. We've gotten some people in, so we see athletes from all levels and everyone of all levels. It doesn't just have to be an athlete to come see us. So.
What's your location in Bridgewater again? What's your location in Bridgewater again?
So we're at 75 Scotland Boulevard.
Okay.
That's where the Bridgewater location is.
Okay, and then you're in Buzzards Bay. You don't have to tell me the location if you don't know it, but
I do know that one.
Oh, there you go.
It's 85 Main Street, Buzzards Bay, so it's right across from Mass Maritime and the train bridge.
See that tag team, boy? They know it, buddy. That's she got your back, man. And then you have one coming in Middleborough, right down the street.
One coming in Middleborough. It's still being built, but that'll be on the way soon. And you can look online for those updates to see when it's going to be up and coming.
That's awesome. I'll be sending my daughter over there for a job.
Absolutely.
Jordan Peebles, and she loves therapy. I think she's getting involved in that kinesiology and therapy and all that stuff. So I'll send her over there and see if she can be part of that team, man.
Does PTU offer internships?
Yeah, we have. We've taken some high school kids in the past for different schools that have that internship opportunity. Most of our internships, though, are undergraduate degrees that they need for their school. A lot of Bridgewater State, but we take kids from all over, especially kids that are in the area but go to a different school. And then we also take physical therapy students as well for their clinical experiences. So we're seeing everyone from all the spectrums, and it never hurts to ask if you can get your experience with us. So don't hesitate to reach out.
What's the difference between treating young patients and old patients?
That's the best part of PTU. I don't really see the difference. We treat everyone like they're an athlete, whether they are or they're not. So I've talked about it before. We have our older patients that may have low back pain. We have them deadlifting, and they could be in their 70s and 80s because they have to lift their grandchildren up, or they have to lift their groceries up, carry them up the stairs if they live on an upper floor. So we treat everyone like an athlete. Everyone likes to be treated like an athlete, whether they played or not. And I think that adds to the environment that we have because everyone gets treated that way, and makes treating a little simpler when you can just treat everyone the same, and it's just turning on different personalities. You got to be a little more energetic with some of the kids.
And creative.
And creative.
Lots of games.
Right. Yeah, I noticed that. They play a lot of games with me when I walk. When I go into therapy and into my physical therapy, they play a lot of games with me. When I walk in, look like everybody starts shying away from the door because I'm so big, and it's hard for them to work with me and flex me when I'm tight. So what my question was, do we have enough time for the question?
We only have 1 minute left.
Okay. Who do you not want to work with? Me or him? Big guy. Little guy. When you see us walk in the door, I don't know, I don't want him.
I don't think I ever think of that.
You know?
No, I'm
No?
always pumped. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's a
Bring on.
free-for-all.
It's a-
Whoever you get,
That's
yeah.
I walk in the door and I feel like people turn their heads.
Bring on the challenge.
Bring on the challenge.
I actually love it when someone's like, "Oh, there's no way you're gonna be able to lift my leg," and I'm like, "Watch me."
Yeah, right. Ah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just like I learned when I was little. I don't know if it was all of us. Like, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Yeah. Yeah, every clinician at PTU is great. So if you know any of you come, you know you don't have to ask for a specific therapist. You're in good hands with no matter who you're with.
All right,
That's
so
awesome.
we actually have to.
You gonna wrap it up?
We actually have to wrap it up. So
Whoa.
we just want to say thank you guys so much for coming on
Learned
and
a lot.
educating us. Yep.
Learned a lot.
Thanks for
Sign
having
me
us.
up, man.
All right, so this has been 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA. Catherine Conley, aka KC, Justin Ferrer, Antron Peebles, Caleb Treble, Lucy Cabral, Sean Sylvia, and Dominic Damiano. We will see you next time on 4 Deep Sports Talk.
This presentation of 4 Deep Sports Talk is brought to you by PTU Clinic. Find out about Bridgewater and Buzzards Bay's newest physical therapy clinic and what they have to offer at ptuclinic.com. Adria Restaurant and Banquet Facility located at 436 Oak Street in East Bridgewater. Visit adriarestaurant.net. And by Diesel Direct, your reliable source for fuel delivery. Head over to dieseldirect.com for more.